Good evening. In the last class, we discussed about the concept of functions and what is a recursive function. And today's section, I will explain about the concepts of list and dictionaries. So, what is the list and what is the dictionary, and how they will work, and what are the different methods in the list and dictionary. Okay. So, let's see first, try to understand what is the list. A list is a linear data structure. It's a linear data structure. So where we can store more than one value, more than one value of same type of data or different type. So this is called the list. The linear data structure where we can store more than one value or the same type of data. The question, what is the linear data structure? So simply say the linear data structure means, for example, I have a list like this. So I can able to store numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4. If I say, let's suppose it's a list, I can able to store maximum numbers of 5 numbers, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 locations. So here, if I store one value here, the next value must be stored in the next block only. So understand clearly? If I store any value here, the first value will go to the first place. The second value must be go to the second place, and third value there, and fourth value here, and fifth value here. This kind of story is called a linear data structure. So it doesn't mean sense. I can't able to store the first element at the first location and the second element at the third location. It will not allow. So this kind of things we can call as a linear data structures. Okay. So we have here the list, tuple, set, dictionary. There are so many things we can call them as a linear data structures. Now, so how do you define the list? A list will be represented in square brackets. Square brackets. And the square brackets means these are the square brackets. In square, I will write like this, square bracket. So list of elements can be placed within the square brackets. Okay. So take one example. I will say ages. So here I can able to mention the ages in the boxes. 21, 19 years or 18 years or 17 or 34 or 32. So now I can say this one. It is a list. This is a list with the name ages. With the name ages. So this is a list with the name ages. And how many elements are there in this list? There are 5 elements in the list. And same way, if I say here names, I will say for example, Sai, Raj, and Pavan. Now I can say this is a list with the names, and there are 3 items in the list. So all these 5 items are the integer values, the numbers, where these are all string values. So we can store the numerical data. We can also store any character type of data. And we can also store like this. For example, I will say here the student. Here I can say 1001 psi, some for example 45. or 45.5 or 45.5. So what we can understand here, student is a list. Student is a list with the 3 elements. When I say this one clearly, the 3 elements are different types. So this is the integer type, this is the string type, and this is the float type. This is the decimal value type. So likewise, we can able to declare or we can able to store values in a list of any type of data. So either you can store exclusive the integer values or the exclusive the string values or the character values or date values, whatever you can do. So that is the concept is called the list. So list, that's why we can say the list is a linear data structure where we can store more than one value of same type or different type. So why I'm specifically saying more than one value? Because generally the variable stores only one value. If you want to store more than one value, it will not allow. That's why we have to go to the concept of structures. Okay. So here we have a list is one of the linear data structure where we can able to store more than one value and it is represented with the square brackets. So this is a list with name, ages, and of integer values. Here when you see this one, it is a list with name, names, and of string values. Here we can say a list with the name, student, and of different data type values. So this is the concept is called the list. Now take this example again, the ages, what we are studying here is 21, 19, 18, 17, and 32. Okay. So if you take this list, how many elements are there? Totally 5 elements. So I want to know exactly which element is stored at which location. I can say when you see this one, generally we can understand 18 is stored at the 3rd place, 32 is stored at the 5th place, and 21 is stored at the 1st place. But this concept cannot understand by the system. That's why we can use the concept of indexing. So here index is a type to access elements of the list. Elements of the list. Index is a type to access the element of the list. So if you know the index number, you can understand what element where it is stored. So here index numbers starts from 0 to n minus 1. So what is the meaning of this one? When you take the list of elements, the first element start with a 0 index number, the second element 1, third 2, 4, 3, 5, 4, etc. How long it will go? N minus 1. It will go till n minus 1. So this is concept called index. So now when you see this example, what we can understand here, when you see this example, what we can understand here is, here 21 is stored at the location 0, index number, 19 at 1, 18 at 2, 17 at 3, and 32 at the 4. So here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, we can call them as the index numbers. So what is the need of index numbers in the list? If you want to access the data, we must require some method. So this we have to follow the index number concept. The index number always starts from 0 to n minus 1. So what is the n here? N is nothing but the number of elements in the list. So n is number of elements in the list. If the elements are 5, that's why I have to go index up to 4. The elements are 10, I have to index up to 9, like this. And there are basically two types of indexing methods. Indexing methods in list. So what are the indexing methods we have? The first indexing method is forward indexing. Forward index. The second one is the backward index. So we can also call them as a positive or negative indexing also. We can also call positive, and this is called negative indexing. So here the question, what is the positive or forward indexing? So when you take any example, if the index number starts to 0 to n minus 1, that is called the positive indexing. So if the index number start from 0 and end with n minus 1 is called forward or positive indexing. Then what is the backward indexing here or negative indexing? If the index number is in the reverse order, index number start from -1 to etc. We can't say the exact value. Okay. Take an example. I will take the same example, ages here. I will say 21. What are the values here? 19, 18, 17, and 32. Right? Now I will say here the forward indexing, first one. So what is the forward indexing? The index number 0, first one, 1, 2, 3, 4. What is the backward indexing here? In nothing but we have to in the reverse side. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Okay. So this is called indexing, negative index. This is called the negative index. So this is called the negative indexing, the above one. So this is called the positive indexing, where this is called the negative indexing. You can use any method for accessing the elements of the list. Okay. Now take one example to how to access the elements. I will take a list with marks. I will say marks. That the example we are connected to the minor exams 11, 14, 15, 14, 13, 12. So let us suppose these are the marks of the students that are getting the minor examinations. In this one, how many elements are there in the list? We have 6 elements. So what is the index number starts? Forward index starts 0. So in the point of view, the forward index, the first is 0 index, and the last word will be the 6 minus 1, that is a 5. Now I can say this is the 0, this is 1, this is 2, 3, 4, and this is 5. Okay, if I want to access the element, how do we access? I have to say print, what is the list name? Marks, and within the brackets, you might to specify the index number. To say here 2, the output will be 15, because the 15 is available at the index number 2. If I say again the print marks of 4, marks of 4, the output will be the 13. If I say print marks of 5, we'll get the 12. If I say the marks of 6, so now the question, generally we have mentioned the index number from 0 to 5 only, but we are trying to display the value which is index number 6, which cannot be possible. So it leads to an error, because the index is not there, but you are trying to fetch a value which is the specific index. So this is the logic. So this is the method for accessing the individual elements. So it means the element at the second index number, element at the fourth index number, sixth index number. The second thing, ఇదేంటిది accessing individual elements. Individual elements. So now next move this the second thing, that is accessing more than one element. So I want to access more than one element, not a single element. I would like to access more than one element. So how do you this one? I can say here print marks. So you have to mention what is the first index number value you are looking for. What the first index number value here? 2, comma, the second index number value 4. Simple. What the meaning of this one? It will display the values which are available at the index number 2 and index number 4. Now the output is, what is the output here? 15 comma, sorry, correct, 15 comma 13 is the output. So what we are doing here, we can able to get more than one value which are available at different positions. So now the questions are, you are giving, we're trying to give the values which are side by side, right? So means we are trying to the positions of 2 and 4, different positions. 2 is and 3. So I'm skipping the 3 here, right? So there is no problem. So means if you want to get the numbers which are in the successive index numbers, you can able to get like 0, comma 1, comma 2, like this one. Otherwise, if you want to specifically mention that this index number, comma this index number, comma this index number can also be possible. Okay. And the third, accessing elements which are in a range. The concept, what is the range basically? Is a group of elements. So for range, you have to mention the starting value and the ending. For example, I would like to know the range of the people who are getting the marks 60 to 70. What it means? The 60 is the minimum value, maximum is the 70 value. Like likewise, you have to think. So here am I trying to access the values which are in the range. So what is the range here? Nothing but the starting index number and end index number minus 1. Ending index number minus 1. Take one example. I'll say to take the previous example only, the same example. Here which I take the marks here, I will copy and paste here. So this one, I'm trying to print here marks, print marks of 1:4. So the colon is for the representation, colon for representation of group of elements. Representation for group of elements. So what the meaning of this one? I am asking to display the values which are from the index number 1 to not 4. 4 minus 1, that is a 3. So it indicates that I need to display the values which are at the index number 1 and the index number 2 and index number 3. This is the concept. So what is the year 4 means? Nothing but 4 minus 1. So within the range. Within the range means the starting number and ending number before the number, that is called range. So that is the concept of here getting the more than one element. So now ultimately what is the output here? The output should be what one? The values which are from 1, then 15 will come and 14 will come again. These 3 are the elements because the index number 1 value, index number 2 value and index number 3 value. So this is the way what we can understand is we can able to access an individual element in the list. We can access to different elements in the list. And we can also access the elements which are in the given region also or range also. Now we have a quick glance at some methods which are useful for the list actually. Okay. So first method we have to look at the, and moreover one thing I have to explain. So if you want to change these values, for example, I have 14 here and I want to replace this value with a new value. That is nothing but the updation. So means updating the list, updating the list. So how do you update the list? If you want to update the list, you must have to know the index number, which element you would like to update. So that's why you say here example marks of, I have to specify the index number here. If I say for example 2 equal to 30, or some examples say 9 or 10. So what is the meaning of this one? I am trying to replace the marks which are at the position number 2 in the marks list with the 10. So what the value at the marks list at the position number 2? We have already 15. So this 15 will be replaced with the 10. So this concept we can call as updating the list. So if you want to update, you have to mention the list name and the index name which you would like to change, and the new value has to be mentioned. If I say here again the marks of 4 equal to 9, what will happen? Whatever we have 13 here, this 13 will be replaced with the 9. So this is the concept is called the updating the values in the list. Now let's see one by one what are the different methods we have here. The first methods, I will say the methods in list. I will come one by one. First one, the length. What is the length? The length is nothing but returns count of elements in the list. So how many elements are there that you would like to? For example, I will say here scores. I'm taking one list, scores. I will say 45, 34, 56, 33, and what it means. So I will take this kind of list. So now what is the length here? The length is nothing but, what is the length here? How many elements there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is the count. So how do you get this one? I have to say print. What the list name? Scores dot len. So what is the output of this one? This output value is 7. Because I have total number of elements in the list are 7. And next one, the method is append. What's the append? Append is nothing but added a new element or group of elements at the end of the list. So here it will add an element or group of elements at the end of the list. The end of the list. They're not at the middle, they are not at the beginning. They are always end at the list. So here, take the previous example, scores itself. I'm doing this one, scores dot append. Scores dot append of 10. So what is the meaning of this one? What will happen? It will add a new element 10. To which one? The scores. The scores. Now what is the output if I display here print scores? I will get the output like this. What is the list here? Elements already 45, 34, 54, 22, 67, 44, 88, and within the new list we have 10 here. So what you observe here is that new element is treating as a separate list. See, this is not a part of the existing list. This becomes a separate list. So the same way I will take one more example here. I have list something, the scores 2. The scores 2. So there are different scores here, 66, 77, 88. So my idea is to add, I have to add this scores to the already existing scores. So how you can do this one? Which is the existing one? Scores dot append. So which one you have to add here? The scores 2. I will just say scores 2. So what will happen? Here it will take the elements of scores 2 and it will add it to the scores. Now, if I ask to print here scores, what's the output here? As usual, the output will be the common up to this one. And one thing will be added, again the new list here, 66, 77, 88. So this concept we can call as a append. And next one, we have one more option is called extend. So what it will do, it will add an element or the same thing, it will add an element or group of elements at the end of the list. At the end of the list. At the end of the. So, but what is the difference between the append and extend? I will tell you. So I will take now the new list. Okay. I will say the list name is belongs to what I can say height. I will say here 154, 166 or 142 and 177. So let us suppose these are different height inches, means inches side. So now the question, I would like to add a new height to this one. We will say here heights dot extend. I'm adding one more height, that is 170. So what will happen if I ask to print here heights? What could be the output is? This list will be as it is. This list will be as it is. And the new element will become as a member. So you can understand the difference between. See, in this one, the list is as it is, and the new element is added as a separate element. But in this case, the new element is become as a part of the old list. So this is the difference between the append and the extend. I will take one more example. If I say here, if I say, I will say heights 2 equal to, I will say 124, 145. So I would like to add the heights to the heights. I will say heights dot extend of heights 2. So what will happen? The heights 2 will be added to the heights 1. I am asking to print heights 1. What could be the output here? As it is, the previous output will be there. Along this, the new elements will be added. What are the new elements? 124 and 145 will be added. So this simple concept of extend. Okay. And we have to move the next one, the insert. What is the method insert? If you want to add a new element in between the elements. So if you want to add the end, we can use append or extend. If you want to add in between the elements, we can use insert. If you want to insert, you must understand where you have to insert and what value you have to insert. See this one. I will say here, I will take the same example like the latest heights are, latest heights become this one, right? I will take this. Okay. Now I would like to add a new height in between 142 and 177. Then I can say I have to know that exactly where is 177 located. Where is located? The 0, 1, 2, 3. So it meaning this, I have to insert an element before the index number 3 value. Now I can say here heights dot insert. Where I have to insert 0, 1, 2, 3 దగ్గర. So it says 3, comma, which value you would like to insert, you have to specify. I will say here 150. That's it. The simple way. If I say here print heights, what could be the output here? I will take the list here, this one, and mark it here. So, but what will happen in the place of 177, it will display 150, and the 177 will move to the right side. So this is the concept we can call as a insert. So we can insert an element at specific location. So can it possible to insert an element at the beginning? Yes, 0. Let's say the 0, it will become as the first element, and the remaining elements will move to the right side. Okay, and next one, that is the count. So what is the count? It's not a length. The length is nothing but number of elements. The count here means if you want to know that how many times a value is repeated in the list, that is nothing but the count. See, for example, if I take some test score, we'll say test score is one list. Let's say 11, 12, 13, 11, 14, 15, 13, 18, 14 and 15. Let us suppose this is the marks get by the minor examinations for different students. Now I would like to know how many people get 15. We have list of elements. I would like to know how many people get the 15 or 13 or 11, whatever it may be. In that case, what I have to say is, I have to say print. What I have to print? I have to print the scores. What I have to know here? Count. What need count is required? 15. What it will do? It will take the list test score and cross-check each and every element, and its count will be increased automatically whenever it is a 15. So here the 11, the count is still 0, 12 count is still 0, 13 count is 0, 11 count is 0, 14 count is 15, the count start 1. Next 1, next still 1, next 2. So how many times now 15 occurs? 2 times. The output is the 2 here. What is the output here? The output is 2. Because the 2 is occurred, the 15 is occurred twice in the list. So this is called the concept of count. Next is the sort. What is the count? What it means? Number of occurrences of an element in a list. And what is the insert here? Placing an element at the specified index. Specified index. So next one, sort means arranging the list of elements in ascending order. Ascending order. So what I will do this one? I will take the test scores, the same one. Okay, I will say here print. I will say here test scores. Test score dot what is the method? Sort. Test score dot sort. What will happen? It will take all the elements of test score and will be arranged in a specific order. If I ask to print test score, what will be the output? The output will be in a particular order. So what the order here? 11, again the 11, again 12, again 13, again 13, again 14, again 14, again 15, again 15. So now you can say they are different order. So check the elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is absolutely correct. So this is the concept we can call as a sorting. And we have to understand what the concept of reverse. The reverse means arranging the elements of a list in reverse order. So there is no point of sorting here. So whatever the list you are giving, just it will revert. I will take one example here. I will say here points is one list. I will say 100 points, 90 points, 80 points, 84 points, sometimes 92 points, 87 points or 86 points. So if you see this one, some elements are in the order, some elements are not in the order. Okay. So what is the concept of reverse? Simply say it will change this order. That means this order is reverse order. So what if I do this one? Simple say I have to say points dot reverse. Point dot reverse and say here print. So sorry, print points. So what is the output here? The first will be the 86. The second will be the 92. The third will be the 45, 89, 90, and 100. So this is called reverse. You have to understand the difference between the what is the difference between sorting and reverse clearly. The sorting nothing means arranging in order, ascending base. The reverse means the completely the same. We still it will be make in the reverse side. That's all. So just image type. Okay. Next one is the pop. So what is the pop? Is removing an element from the list. Removing an element from the list. I will say here, take this example of points. Okay. I want to say removing an element means if I say here points dot pop. So what will happen? It will automatically remove the last element. If I say here print points dot pop. What is meaning in this one? It will display what element you are removing. By default, the pop will remove the last element. So what is the output here? The 86. Because the pop will allow to remove an element from the list. By default, it removes the last element. That's why I'm asking which element is removing. Print that element. That is a print point.pop means it will display the element number, last number. And next one, the remove is one more method. It is similar to the removing an element from the list. But the difference between both of them is simple that pop will remove the last element and remove can element any type of element. So what are the element you have to say? So how do you specify this one? You have to specify the element number. See, for example, if I say points dot remove of 89. So what will happen? It will remove the element 89. So see here, there is no point of index number. We have to look at the value in the list only. If we say points dot remove of 89, it will automatically remove the element 89. If I ask to print here points, what could be the output here? The output will be the without 89. Without 89. This is the concept of removing. Right? The same way we have some more methods like sum is there, maximum is there. The sum is nothing but finding, adding the all elements in the, we have the sum here. Some methods are sum is there and max is there, like a min also is there, minimum also is there. So what they will do is, what will sum do will do? It will add all elements of the list. So what max will do? Finds the maximum number, maximum value number from the list. And if, for example, if you take this one, what is the maximum number here? 100. That's important. So next one we have sorted. So generally when you use the sort, generally we can use only the ascending order. If you want even descending order also, then we have to use the sorted is one method. Sorted is one method. We can arrange elements in the list either ascending or descending. They're ascending or descending. Or how do you this one? Take this example of points. So after removing what we don't have the 89 here, right? I will remove this one. So the points are like this one. So in these points, what I would like to sort. So if you want to like to sort, if I say here print sorted, which you want to sort? We have to sort points. That's it. What it will do? It will sort. It will sort. What is the output now here? 100, 90, sorry, 92, 90, and 45. If you want to sort in the descending order, see, okay, in that case, we have to use print sorted of points, comma, reverse equal to true. Reverse equal to true. So what is the reverse equal to true? It means when you say reverse equal to, it is the descending order. By default, it will take the ascending order. If you want to make it a descending order, you have to take like this. So, okay. So what is the ascending order means here? Sorry, this is not this order. What is the order here? You have to get the 45 first, 90, 90, right, 92 and 100. Descending order means the 100 first, 92 next, 90 next, and 45 next. So this is the concept of sort. So this is about for today class. So I'll glance once again. The list is a linear data structure where we can store more than one value. The linear means we have to store the values in the continuous locations only, one after another. So this example is a list of integer, list of string, and list of different data type values. So what is the index? The index is nothing but the identification of an element in the list. The index number is always start from 0 to n minus 1. There are two types of indexing, positive indexing or forward indexing, backward indexing or the negative indexing. The forward indexing is always start from 0 to n minus 1, the negative index start from minus 1. So it apply from last element to the first element. Okay. So if you want to access an element in the list, you have to use the concept of index. So if you want to access the individual element, you have to use the individual index number. If you want to access more than one element, you have to specify the index number separated with the commas. If you want to access more than like a group of elements, you have to use the colon symbol. The colon symbol you have to specify starting index number and ending index number plus 1. Right? We can become as a group of elements, like a range of elements. So if you are trying to identify an element which is not at the specific index, it will be written an error. Right? And if you want to update any element in the list, you have to mention the index number and its value to be assigned. If index number is not available, the value it should again throw some error because the specific index number not available or out of bound. So some methods in this are length. Length is nothing but to find the length of this list. So means how many elements are present in the list. And next one, append means how we can able to add the element at the end of the list. You can add at the end or a list or and also one list can be added. You can add a single element or more than one element also. What extend? Extend is similar to the append, but in the append, the new element it has a separate list, but in case of extend, the new element or the group of element as same list elements. And the next one is the what extend is over, and next one is the insert. To insert a value at the specific index number position, you have to know what is the index number you want to insert the value and what the value you would like to insert. And count means when you see the list, how many times the specific value is repeated recurrence of value, that is called the count. So next one, the sort means if you want to arrange the list of elements in ascending order, you have to use the concept sort. The reverse means there is no point of ascending or descending. We just will reverse the given elements. That is called the reverse. And next one, pop means if you want to remove the last element of the list, we can use the pop. By default, remove the last element. And remove means in this case, this is also for the purpose of removing an element from the list, but you have to mention the value which you would like to remove. Right? And max sum means if you want to calculate the total of the summation of the given list of elements, we can use a sum. If you have to identify which element is the maximum value number, we have to know the maximum. The sorted means generally when you use the sort command, sort method, it will do ascending only. If you want to make it as descending also, we can use the sorted. Right? So this is the section for today about the concept of list. Because of the lack of time, I am closing the section for today. And tomorrow we'll discuss about the section called dictionaries. Okay.